Hey everyone, it's Lars here, and welcome back to Virtual Paddock. There's a saying that goes, history is written by the victors. And from what I've seen, it also appears to be true for sim racing. For example, all except one of the official Formula 1 cars we get in Assetto Corsa are at the very least race winners. Half of them even won championships. And the only one that didn't win a race, the Ferrari 312/67, still got 4 podiums in the 10 races they had entered. But today, I'm gonna drive a car from the opposite end of the grid. This is the 2004 Minardi PS04B, driven by Jean-Maria Bruni and Joel Baumgartner. To put it mildly, this car wasn't exactly the most stable or predictable. In fact, it actually looks worse to drive to me than the PS03, which was the car that Minardi used in 2003. Anyway, let's see what the Minardi PS04B was like to drive. Okay, so here I am in the Minardi PS04B at Barcelona. And as you can probably tell, this is actually just the Ferrari F2004 with the Minardi skin. But to make it behave a bit more like the Minardi, I intentionally messed up the setup. So a lot of it is experimental, to be honest. Tried a bunch of different things. Obviously the aero, but also the toe, both the rear toe and front toe, dampers, springs, anti-roll bars. I also gave it longer gearing, because the Minardi in 2004 had a 6-speed gearbox, whereas the Ferrari had a 7-speed. Most actually had a 7-speed, only Minardi and Renault still had a 6-speed. Now let's see what this is going to be like. It's going to be quite difficult to get myself to push, just because I know that the car isn't really going to do what I want it to do. In there I could feel the car getting loose several times. It wanted to oversteer, then it understeered. Then massive understeer here. Now obviously, I cannot accurately recreate the behavior of this car. Simply because I have no way of knowing what the actual issues were that made it oversteer so much. But it's more about the idea of what it would have been like to drive a car like this. That was massive. There again, I lost all my speed. Yeah. That was bound to happen. Now, to give you some context as to how far off the pace Minardi were in 2004. Nowadays in Q1, Haas, who are typically the slowest, maybe around 3 to 4 seconds off. Whereas Minardi in 2004 were often 5 to 6 seconds off pole. In fact, they only managed to outqualify drivers from other teams on pace once. And that was at Spa, in a wet qualifying session, where Giorgio Pantano in the Jordan and Ricardo Zonta in the Toyota were both slower than both Minardis, but also not by much. Now, Jordan in 2004 was the second slowest team, and in some qualifying sessions Minardi were even a few seconds off Jordan. Yeah, third gear kept it a bit more stable. Now, an interesting fact about this car, the reason it's called the PS04B is because Minardi originally wanted to run the Arrows 823, which was Arrows 2003 car. They wanted to run that, no, not the 2003, 2002 car. But Minardi originally wanted to run the Arrows A23, which they'd bought in 2003, after Arrows had folded. And that would have been the PS04, they would have renamed it. But then they decided against it, designed an all-new car, and that was the PS04B. It's pretty frustrating knowing that I cannot push properly because I can't really trust the car. And makes it a lot harder to get a good lap together. Obviously, it's quite interesting in the context of this experiment to see what it was like to drive a car like this. But when you're trying to get a fast lap together, I got on the grass there, in the context of trying to do a fast lap, it's pretty damn frustrating. Like that corner, usually it's almost flat in the F2004, but in this one I don't dare to take it flat because
I know that if I load up the car more, the imbalance also gets a lot worse. Alright.
So that was definitely quite a bit more work than a well-balanced Ferrari F2004. Now, once again, I couldn't accurately recreate how this car drove, and I honestly didn't spend that much time on the setup, but I think it's an interesting challenge. Also, let's give the old Backmarker some love. Anyway, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and you want to see more content like this, be sure to click like and subscribe. So, till next time, use the downforce, and see you soon.